Aloha, this is Lori Yerksa from Author Talk, coming at you from the beautiful big island of Hawaii. And I'm so excited about my guest today, Paul LaGreca from New York.
Yay.
Yes, all the
Yes,
way on the other side of the country.
that's right.
Yes, welcome, Paul. I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Lori. It's so good to be with you, and our paths have crossed a few times. So it's lovely to see you and meet you,
Yes.
and to get to talk to you. So absolutely.
Yes, yes. And I did just finish your book, but your book is on my computer, so I can't hold it up so everybody can see the
Okay.
cover.
Well, there it is.
Yes.
The boy behind the giant cabinet.
Yes.
By Paul LaGreca.
So good. So good. It's a journey for sure. For
Yes.
sure.
Life is a journey, absolutely. And we have to be open and alert to the experience and the learnings that life offers us.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because everything's got a lesson in it.
Right.
So we just need to
Right.
embrace it. So, just tell us a little bit about yourself and why you wanted to write your memoir.
Sure. Well, I am an actor and an artist and a writer, of course. I come from a family of 10 brothers and sisters. I'm originally from the Bronx, and just a slight modification, and it's always easy for people in New Jersey to say they're from New York, especially if you're from New York. But I live on the border of New York State in Bergen County, New Jersey, which is northern New Jersey.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely little area, and I am. I've acted for many, many years. I left my career back in 1985 to join Mother Teresa as a missionary of charity in her order. I left Mother Teresa after 1 year. It's on the book. Talk about it later.
Yeah.
And I used money I saved as an actor, and I got my college degree. And the book ends there. It's a memoir. So it's the first 25 years of my life. But then the rest of my life has been a corporate career. I was on Wall Street for a while, and now I'm at a very big advertising agency in Manhattan. And that's what I do for a living. But even though the arts aren't first right now, I'm hoping to replace flip-flop that very soon. Let my corporate job fund my art, and keep going with the track that I'm on right now.
Nice, nice. Love that. So, yes, actor to Mother Teresa to Wall Street to ad agency. I love it. Love it. Love it. So, your book, well, it doesn't actually start at day one. You talk about the Mother Teresa part a little bit first, but then it kind of just goes through chronological order, and you have several themes in your book, but one of them was addiction. A lot of families, probably every family, maybe to some degree, experience that. But that, I think, for you and the way you talked about it, especially later on, the healing process. Can you speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I don't think people realize that, especially for a child, talk about the first 6 years of a child's life being the most important. And whatever happens in those 6 years, you kind of work out the rest of your life working out whatever that happened. Hopefully you have an ideal childhood. Most of the time it's not the case. In my case, my brother was Charlie. He was my oldest brother. He was born in 1950. He was one of those, 60s beatniks that kind of went hippie. The black cape, the acid tripping. Started with pot. It was a gateway drug for my brother. He started to experiment more and more, and eventually became a full-fledged Finnish, they call it, Finnish addict by the time I was 18, which means that I was 2 years old. So it was my childhood to understand and know that my brother had a problem.
Yeah.
Charlie's addiction was not just his problem, it was the family's problem.
Right.
And so what happens with most families who have an addict in it, everything revolves around the addict. Don't tell people what's happening. Keep it a secret. Don't tell the relatives. all of this kind of secretive kind of living that you do. And your children, so how are we processing it? So back in the 60s, what did our parents know about psychology, right? So the whole title, Boy Behind the China Cabinet, is where I found my refuge. I would hide behind the China cabinet, hide my toys, my coloring books, my crayons, my music, and that's where I learned how to isolate and get away from things when I needed my space.
So you had a place to go in your home, a little refuge.
I did.
Just for yourself.
I did. Yeah. But it was healthy, but it wasn't healthy because I'm an isolator, and that's not good. And so those behaviors that stem from experiences like that, you kind of have to work them out for the rest of your life. You have to be mindful. So Charlie might have gone to AA, which he didn't. But Paul's going to go to Al-Anon, adult children of alcoholics. And I'm going to get the help I need to undo those ridiculous habits, like learning how to eat when I'm hungry, learning how to say no to people, learning not to people please 24/7 because I'm afraid you're not going to like me, learning how I don't have to, take care of the world. It's okay to take care of myself too.
Yeah, so it's amazing those mindsets that get ingrained, as a young child, because we don't know any different, and then you got to figure it out later. And you did, and one of those ways, I stop me if I don't want to give too much away, so we can always reel back. But one of those ways, you discovered music and dancing and the arts, right? Behind the China cabinet, you kind of developed your artistry, and that became kind of a way for you to heal. But at the time, you didn't realize that, right?
You don't realize it. It's funny because I still do it. I'll tell you what happened to me just yesterday. It's kind of crazy, but I saw The Wizard of Oz as a kid. I was like 3 years old, 4 years old. And it changed my life because whatever that was on that TV screen, I had to be a part of that. It was magical. It was black and white, and then it was color. Then it was a touching story that pulled me in, and I identified with the pain. And the movie became an obsession. So I got to appreciate acting, music, and film because of that experience. I learned to sing, I learned to dance, I learned, to have yellow, blue, and red in my hands, colors. It was just an amazingly beautiful thing. So my aesthetic went to art, went to music and all that, and it was a way for me to survive. And I have a gift of imitating people, so the relatives at 4 years old, 5 years old, would put me up on the kitchen table for the holidays, and I would imitate everybody at the table, and I was the entertainment, It's funny because yesterday I was stressed with work, and I'm working from home right now. I went into the kitchen with the canvas was sitting on my counter, and I just took my acrylic paints and I just started dripping them as I was talking to the person. I think I created one of the most beautiful pieces of art. It's drawing in my kitchen right now. It comes from this place. It's like a release.
Yes.
It needs to come out. Even with the writing. You do it because you have to do it. I had no choice. It's there, and it's like regurgitating.
Yes.
And and you can identify with that, I'm sure. But that was my refuge. And answer to your question, art, music, all of the arts. I'm an artist through and through, and I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, the arts are so healing. But what struck me really about the Wizard of Oz too, you were essentially a toddler, and it moved you. I mean, it touched you so deeply at such a young age, and that another thing also happened to you at church, right, with your dad at a young age. What was that? Because that started like the great dichotomy, kind of in your soul.
Dichotomy, yes, started with me. My father was holding me in his arms at the back of our church. And I'm Catholic, so there's a crucifix all over the altar. And as a toddler, I must have been about 3 years old, I looked at the cross, and it had I think there was a black backdrop behind the cross. It was a very realistic looking Jesus on that cross. there was something about that experience, that looking at Jesus on the cross, I was enthralled by it. I felt pulled in. I felt like something deep within me connected to this thing I knew nothing about. I fell in love with the cross. I fell in love with the wounds and the crown of thorns, and I wanted only one thing, and that was to embrace it.
Yes.
And to be with him and not leave him. I felt like I was falling into, I described it in my book as falling into a deep, dark well of love. And I didn't know what it was, and I still have it. I could cry talking about it.
Yes.
But it's something that just sits in your heart. It's a connection. And I connected young, but I think we all have that potential to connect to something greater than ourselves. But I've always felt carried. And that experience was very alive for me. So there was this thing that was just God, nothing but God. And then there was this thing called Hollywood that showed up.
Yes. Yes. So you have, right, The Wizard of Oz and The Cross of Jesus, and they both have affected you profoundly. And to me, the whole cross thing is because normally kids are afraid of that, right? It scares them. So, I love that. And then, so you're pursuing kind of both at the same point, arts, acting, singing, dancing, all that, as well as spirituality.
Yes.
But then which one do you kind of choose first, if you will, to make a vocation?
Right? You know, I'm in Hollywood. I'm on TV shows. I'm doing very well. And it wasn't so much Catholic at that point. I started to explore my spirituality. And California was a great place to do that back in the 80s.
Yes.
So I just got my poncho photo today. I still wear it every now and then. My old hippie poncho. But anyway, there was a bookstore called the Bogie Tree. It was on Melrose in LA. And when you walked in there was incense burning, and then you could pour a cup of herbal tea, and there were Gregorian chants playing, or Buddhist monks. As you walked into this bookstore, one whole room was dedicated to like the lives of saints. Another one was like life after death. Another one was the teachings of Edgar Cayce. Another one was Paramahansa Yogananda. Buddha, I mean, you name it. So me and my friend Rochelle used to love it there. We used to just go spend, we could sit there and sit on the benches and spend the day there. And I started to explore, what is spirituality? Did I live before? What about reincarnation? What about life after death? What happens to us when we leave our body? I started to ask big questions that went outside traditional structured church. And I explored. Sometimes dangerously. I did dabble with mediums and stuff like that. At one point in my life, I didn't like that because I learned something about me. I'm a sensitive, and I'm not saying I'm psychic, but I attract things. So if I pray for you, chances are pretty good you're gonna get hurt. Or if I pray for a spirit, like a couple of weeks ago, I was over there by that window, and it was dark out, and I saw something walk behind me in my room. It was a man. And I said, oh my God, but I wasn't afraid. And I said, I wonder what that was. I found out 2 hours later that a priest that I know that I was very close with had passed away. And it was by accident that I found out, but I think that was Father Giorgio wanting me to know that he was with me. At any rate, when I say I dabbled negatively, I did dabble wrong. And I remember one night just felt like my house was full of spirit. And so I got on my knees and I prayed and I did what I needed to do. And so I started to adjust. And eventually, this big journey that I was on, spiritual journey, brought me kind of back to the church. I mean, I had solace in sitting in front of the tabernacle, in front of the cross, receiving communion. It was like a full circle for me. And I started to do a lot of volunteer work in Los Angeles. And eventually, because of my spiritual search, that volunteer work, the joy of that work, began to replace the ecstasy of being in front of the camera. I also started to find out what Hollywood was really about.
Yes.
And a lot of that is in my book. And believe me when I tell you, there's a lot of lies people are being fed. It's not what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, I had an experience in the shower one morning, and I heard something telling me to pack up. You're done. Go home.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And when I went home, I met Mother Teresa. What can I tell you? I rolled big.
That's so great. Well, first of all, you kind of just said it. You have like a direct connection to God and the Holy Spirit. Because here you're in the shower and you get something so tangible that you cannot deny it, and
right.
you have to do something about it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like your stories or your decisions were the big ones anyway, were kind of that way. Just something so tangible and profound happened, and you couldn't deny it.
See, good and obedient people listen to their instincts and move forward. Idiots like me have to get knocked on the head. So that's probably it, more like it.
Yeah, so Hollywood didn't work out. You had your time, had a little bit of claim to fame.
Yeah.
Anybody listening, it's in the book, but go watch, some old Night Riders.
Yeah.
And see Paul there. So you get got in the shower and pack your bags and head back to the East Coast. And,
yes.
Mom and Dad are there with open arms. Then what happens? It's so awesome.
So, well, first I will say this. I don't despise acting.
Yeah.
There's a difference between people that seek fame and the people that love the work.
There were many years that I strived to be an actor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there it is, right? Mm-hmm. So in Los Angeles, I find that 80% of the people want to be a star, and 20% want to concentrate on the work, the art of acting. In New York, I found that 80% want to do the work, and 20% want to be stars.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Different modality, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to plug back into that. It didn't like this because this is how to play a game, and I wasn't interested. New York, I didn't. You be who you are. So I came back home to pursue my career out of New York as an actor, and I worked at my dad's butcher shop in the meantime. But Papa used to deliver meat to Mother Teresa's nuns who were feeding the poor in the South Bronx. And one day my dad said to me, well, why don't you help me make my delivery? The sisters are going to love you. Just tell them that, you might. So we went with the delivery, and most of them are from India. There are some Americans, some from New York, and they met me, and the sisters were like, oh, you're an actor, how beautiful, brother. Oh, my goodness. Why don't you come? Oh, you're an actor. Can you help us with summer camp this year? Maybe you can act with the children. And I'm like, oh, God, what do I say? I'm like, what am I going to do? So I'm like, okay, sister, sure, I'll help. Well, I did it, and it was probably one of the best summers of my life. I mean, I painted the kids as clowns. I had my guitar. We were in the middle of the streets of the South Bronx singing songs like "Ready for Coming." It was incredible.
Yeah.
And the sisters told me that Mother had just opened up a male branch of her Order of Missionaries of Charity, the Society of Missionaries of Charity, and the sister said, "You should go, brother. We think you might have a vocation. You're so good with the children." So I went on a 2-week what they call Come and See. And while I was on Come and See, we had to drive to Washington, D.C., the guys who were helping, Come and See guys, with the Father Superiors, because Mother Teresa was opening a home for the dying in D.C. for AIDS. At the time, there weren't really enough shelters, and people were protesting outside the house, and they didn't want people with AIDS living in the area. They were afraid they were going to get it. You have the information back now.
Yeah.
But we walked in the door, and who's standing there but Mother Teresa?
Oh my gosh.
Hello, brother, so good to see you. Come. So we were in the lobby, and the superior said, everybody get in a circle around Mother, and let's play a song. So we sang a song called City of God, from I think it's from God's Well. And she was loved all smiles. And then she came around to greet each and every one of us, took us by the hand, rubbing our hands, she was talking to us. And when she saw me, she said, what is your name, brother? I said, well, I'm not a brother yet. I said, but I'm here, I'm coming to see you. Oh, very good, very good. I said, but my name is Brother Paul. She said, oh, we need to see Paul.
Love it. That's so great. It's so great.
But I know you from somewhere. I said, no. Well, we haven't met before. She said, no, I know you from somewhere, brother. I could tell. And I'm like, I'm telling you, mother, we never met, I would remember.
Of course, right? She meets like thousands, tens of thousands of people. And
Oh, cute, no. I could have just, when you're in her presence, you just want to be with her forever. There's something safe. I just fell in love with her instantly.
Wouldn't that be great just to have that kind of energy?
Maybe that's what heaven's like. Maybe we'll be surrounded by nothing but love, right?
Yes. I also did note that part about when you had the exchange of feeling she felt like she's known you. I thought I remembered that it was reciprocated because I went, oh, maybe they had a quantum entanglement. That's what I thought, but.
I think my dad had met her previously, and she might have recognized him from maybe I look similar to my dad. I think that's my takeaway.
Yes. So love it. She's kind of sassy. This little sassy nun, Mother Teresa. Huh?
You don't play. If you were there to work, you were committed to the work. And I've seen things that. There was one time when Mother there was a box of toys that were supposed to go to children in one part of the country, but they would have been foreign toys to these children. Mm-hmm. She was very upset that nobody thought it room enough, that the wrong toys were being sent. And so people, she was so nasty, and Mother Teresa had a hard edge to her. If Mother Teresa had a hard edge or something, it was because there was a purpose behind it.
Yes.
It was her reaction that there was out of love for the poor. All she thought about was Jesus comes to us, and the distressing disguise of the poorest of the poor.
Yes.
And it's always beautiful then, and poverty doesn't mean, she used to say, poverty doesn't mean giving a piece of bread to the hungry or giving a drink to the thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
Your poverty might be different than my poverty.
Yes.
But the word poverty is in the West, she said, the lonely. People who are feeling unloved, unwanted, uncared for.
That fits.
Yep.
Yes. So, okay. So you have one of the things that the way that you get to be in the convent is you go through a come and see. That's like a 2-week trial period. One of the things I loved about your book, because I knew nothing. I didn't grow up Catholic, so I don't know anything about priests and nuns and convents, and so I loved that you go through basically the structure or the ladder, and so you have one of those like so deep, so profound feelings well up and emerge out, and what happens?
You mean when I entered and my blood in her?
I just love the way that the way that you describe like your insides, your feelings were. What was dramatic? I mean, I guess dramatic. Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to take. And in an order like that in the Catholic Church, it's a very strict order, right? So there's a big umbrella in the church. You've got very progressive rules. So you kind of need to live in an apartment. Sisters don't wear habits that just wear a little cross over their heart. You never know there were sisters. You have this big umbrella, but I was in the extreme where, the 1950s and 40s, eyes down, walk along walls, hands like hands, hide your hands when you're not in use, speak only when you need to speak. But people will be, are you crazy for entering that? But I was so in love with God. I wanted to give him everything. I wanted that. So I chose that out of joy. And I did love life. I couldn't sustain it because I had a personality type
Yes.
that just, I come out. So we would be in the hospital working with, people, and then we were waiting for Father to come get us in the van. And I remember like standing along the wall in the hospital, like this with my head down in silence and in prayer. And then, just a song would come on the radio. It's a beautiful morning, from the 60s. It's a beautiful morning. I go, oh, I love this song. I would get the stares, or the Beatles, and I couldn't control it,
Yeah.
So at any rate, my exuberance did come out a lot. My superior, as hard as he was on me, he wanted it to work for me. I know that, I believe it. He didn't want me to leave. He kept telling me I was being tempted because he loved me.
Yes.
And after I left, he told the guys that it's a sad day because I feel like I'm bragging a little, but he said, sunshine has left our community.
Yes, I remember that. I was struck by that. I'm like, oh, Father Eugene.
Yeah.
I liked him. I mean, I could feel his pressure just in your writing. So I mean, you were at the Missions of Charity, like you said, is one of the strictest orders. And so that was so mind-blowing to me. Here you're in New York, you're in Hollywood, and then you go to
extreme order.
Extreme austerity and rigidness, but you say it's because of your love for God. And can you help people understand why it's so compelling?
So I think it's interesting. It's like a cup, right? Saint Teresa used to say, vocation is like a cup. She said, God gives some people a thimble, God gives some people a cup, God gives some people a bucket. But it's your job to respond to that by filling it to the top, whatever that might be. And I think today, when a young person is on fire for God and wants to give their life to God, they want to give themselves 100%. They want the sacrifice. They hunger for God so much that they want to give every last drop. And the missionaries of charity really afford you that opportunity to make sacrifices for the world. You don't. So you have to ask for permission between meals if you want water or you're hungry. Okay, it's annoying to most people that don't get it, but for us, it's a sacrifice. And we chose to live that life because we know that through that sacrifice, maybe somebody that day who was going to pick up a pill won't, because I made a sacrifice to the benefit of the world.
Yes.
And so suffering is with it, but there's a lot more joy. It's a very beautiful life. Now, the religious orders today that are all suffering are the ones that don't have as much sacrifice anymore. They've compromised their way of living, and they're not getting any vocations. Where are the vocations all going? To the strictest orders of the church. They're overflowing. They can't keep them in.
Wow. That blows my mind a little bit. Interesting. Very
God's
interesting.
call, that desire that you are so everything to me.
Yes.
I love you so much. I want to live in the way that I feel that I'm going to be able to give you 110%.
Yes, and just the knowing that your sacrifice, whether you see it or not, is helping somebody else. That's faith, believing in the unseen world.
Yes.
And all of that.
Yes.
And the bliss. I mean, really,
Oh.
it's hard to leave that.
Sometimes I was in them, whenever I was in that chapel, more than anything else, just as soon as I entered it, just the smell of it alone, because of all the incense on the walls. I could have sat, I remember one day, Father said, it's a day of prayer, and I got on my knees, and we were allowed to do whatever we wanted that day, but mostly stay in there, in the chapel. I think I went 5 hours straight on my knees. You go someplace else.
I believe
And
it.
prayer is, people think that when you're praying, you have to hear Lord. Today, it's not it. By prayer, we're talking about immersing yourself. Just sit in God's presence. Whatever you understand God to do. Surround yourself in that light. Just sit in it. How does it feel? Tell it you love it. Let God tell you He loves you. Just sit in the jewel and that. Just sit
Yes.
and be still and know that I am God.
Yes.
And that's it. And the fruit of that is peace. And the fruit, Mother used to say, and the fruit of peace is love. And the fruit of love is service. And the fruit of service is peace.
So wise, so wise, and that blissful, peaceful state is it's unmatched. Really, there's nothing else like it.
I said that the day that I walk out the door and I hit the streets again, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do?
Okay. Yes. So you go in as an aspirant. That's the first level. That's kind of the new people coming in. But you get sent to the principal's office, quite a bit. Every week. And so it just turns out it's a little too strict for you. You've got a bigger personality. Still want to serve, still love God. None of that's changed. It's just the lifestyle didn't quite click, and so you go ahead and leave. And what I know at that same time you're actually in college. So maybe some people don't realize that if you're living in a convent, you still go out and can go to college. And
so as aspirants and the postulants would be level 2 and novices would be level 3. So we're studying to be priests. So it's 4 years of 4 years of philosophy. You need that degree, and then it's 2 years of your master's, 2 years of your divinity degree. So we had to begin our education for those of us who hadn't been to college. We were all at different levels, but I had never been to college. I went right to Hollywood after I graduated high school.
yes.
So I entered academia for the first time, and I got to tell you, I fell in love with it. I love it.
It's that, I mean, that's why it's like, again, it's so kind of mind-blowing, but perfect for Paul, because it's New York, Hollywood, the strictest order of convent there is, and then you go to college.
And I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And the problem was, I loved it so much that the sacrifices I was making at home were starting to irritate me, because there was one typewriter. And we didn't have a computer back then.
Yeah.
So how do you expect us to be scholars and educated priests with one typewriter? You had to get online to typewriter. I had to study. I had to memorize it. Bob was like, calm down. Don't worry about this. Just do what you can do. If you get a B, get a B. Or a C, get a C. You don't have to be the best. But I got into it.
Yeah.
So that layers came in there as well.
Yes.
But after I left the missionaries, I did continue. I continued at school, and I was in the same classes as the guys, so that was very difficult for me. Until I could transfer out of St. John's University and get my TUFAS to a school in New Jersey, where my parents were.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after, I think the minute you shut the door behind you from leaving the Missionaries of Charity, again, just a deep, tangible, profound, emotional experience kind of went on. Yeah.
Horrible. I think I had a mini nervous breakdown, actually. I was so exhausted. I was tired, emotionally drained. Because, in the book I kept saying, Father, please, if you just let me sleep a week, just let me catch. He's like, how could I do that for you?
Yeah.
It would be so unfair.
Yeah.
And I got that. I got it. So I made the decision to leave for a number of reasons. And then going home again, and after living in abject poverty, my choice, eating with the poor, I couldn't eat any better than the poor we served.
Yeah.
Open going to the bedroom, and all these clothes, and I just said, it's too much for me. And I kind of broke down a little bit, and I got professional, I went to see a therapist eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but my friend Wendy, a friend of mine, Wendy, was going to Al-Anon meetings. And she says, dude, a lot of what you're talking about, you might just go back to like your brother's addiction. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she says, why don't you come up and do some meetings? Just see if you like it. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'll give it a shot. Well, maybe this is right." And then I started to go to meetings. I made friends again, and I found out that I could be happy again. And
Yeah.
it took me a while. It took me about 3 or 4 good months before I would wake up and say, I'm happy today.
Yes.
This is a bit of a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, the 12 steps are powerful. I want to kind of wrap up here, but I want to just have one last question, something that you said in your book, and if there's any kind of lesson or message that you want to tell people. But what you said about your struggles, and it was one of your friends or one of your counselors that said it to you, was Paul, it sounds like you're seeking heaven on earth. So if somebody like has no idea, like what does that mean? What's a whole different way of saying that?
Yeah. When you have that kind of a malaise and you're in front of this person that said that to me, he said, "Oh, Paul, you've been searching for heaven your whole life." And it was like, boom, it hit me like, that's it. I've been looking for bliss everywhere I go. And when I don't find bliss, I think of it as a negative. It brings me down. So after Charlie, after he died, his acting brought me so much joy. Well, I go to Hollywood. It's going to be wonderful. I know I'll be in pictures. I know I'll be on TV. I know someday I'll be a big star, and I'm going to be full of so much joy, and it's going to be wonderful. The reality of Hollywood kicks in, and you say, well, this isn't it. This really isn't what I thought it was. And in the words of my mother, it's Italian New Yorker. Look, let's face it, you went out there looking for Fred Astaire and Rogers, and you didn't find it. It was a different time. It was really. Then you volunteer and you're touched with service, and you know that service is the way to go. I came home, went into the Missionaries of Charity, thinking that extreme step was going to make a saint out of me, was going to make me holy, was going to put me in a heavenly space. But to get to a heavenly space, you got to do the work in a place like that. And so the beatdowns and all the other stuff, that wasn't where it was for me. Heaven is not of this world, it's of the next. Right? Then, I left and I crashed. Here's the thing. Yes, that priest was right. I have been looking for heaven on earth. But here's the takeaway. After doing all that inner work and praying and meditating and thinking back on the 25 years I left behind me, my sister had a poster in her bedroom, and it said, "Happiness cannot be found in outward things, but within." And I learned that, wait, maybe, just maybe, I have to choose to be happy right here and right now, no matter what's happening. Happiness is, and we learned this in the program, is an inside job.
Yeah.
And so right here where I sit, you can pick me up right now and move me to the top of the mountain that's ice cold. And as long as I'm self-actualizing in God, no harm can really come to me. Because I sit in God, and I sit in that love, and I choose to be happy. No matter what happens in your life, look, it doesn't mean I walk around on a cloud, it doesn't mean you don't have a bad day. But you know it's there, and I always turn to it. I'm never really alone. And even though I say that I isolate, there's a difference between isolating and solitude. And I prefer solitude. For me, it's how I connect, whether it's through art, whether I'm in front of my altar here praying, it doesn't matter. It's all about happiness is an inside job. And at the end of the day, it's all very, very beautiful.
Yes.
Even with COVID, learn the lessons. What are your lessons? Learn them.
Yeah.
Look at it as a gift. What are the positives? Yes, people have died. Yes, we're all locked in. Yes, we can't do what we can do. But there's lessons. And I've made some major changes in this time myself. So use your time well.
Yes.
Be happy.
Yeah.
All through the end of the day.
Yes, I love that as a final statement, use your time well. Happiness is on the inside. Joy is on the inside. So outside things won't bring that.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, this has been
You're a
great.
doll. Thank you so much, Lori. I thank you. I mean, I have met the most incredible people through this book. I can't even tell you. And you're just another name to add to my list of new friends. And I thank you
Yes,
so much.
likewise, and thank you. So, hold your book up again so everybody can see
Yes.
the cover, and tell us where they can buy it.
The Boy Behind the China Cabinet.
Yes.
It is available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Google Books. You can get it Kindle, hardcover, or soft copy. I think the hard copy is currently on sale on Amazon, but it is available. And if you want a signed copy, if you go to my website, LaGreca.net, and then hit the contact tab, it'll give you instructions on how to get that. But I'm sending you one complimentary.
Oh my goodness, Paul, thank you so much.
Yes.
Please go get Paul's book. It's amazing. You won't be able to put it down. It's so well written. His stories are they're funny, they're profound, they're sad. You will love it. So thank you again, Paul. Stick around for a minute, but I just really enjoyed and we're just honored to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you all out there.